All right. Up next, we have Megan Bozeman. She's the COO and CFO of Current 3D, and we'll hear about the startup's journey in developing a new vertical in culinary 3D printing. So, Megan, I'm going to bring you up on stage. You should be able to turn on your mic and your camera in just a minute here. There we go.
One moment. Okay, there we go. Thank you for that introduction. Hello, everyone. I am excited to be here today and share about our company's journey. Let me get my screen going. All right, well, it's been a fun and enlightening 3 years since my co-founder and CEO, Kyle von Haslin, and I co-founded the company. And I hope that you enjoy hearing about it today. And I think many of our learnings are relevant to any new vertical. Certainly the things we've had to consider, although maybe the outcomes are different. It's a very visual space that we are in. So my presentation today is going to be a lot of pictures and videos. So I hope you enjoy it. And primarily what I'm going to talk about are the challenges we face that, again, I think that any new vertical faces. And that is how to educate the world about our product, specifically about 3D printed food and why it's relevant to them. And then determining what our product offering should be. And finally, identifying that target market and figuring out how to connect with them and how to support them. So first of all, who are we and what are we doing? So simply put, we are digital food distributors who are attempting to disrupt legacy food production and distribution. So what does that mean? It means we've brought 3D printing and the benefits of 3D printing that you're all aware of to the culinary space. We've introduced a new tool, a new means of producing new products in a new way, to a space that's really rich in innovation and creativity, and they're always looking for new ways to create delicious, memorable products in more efficient ways and in high volume. So in a nutshell, we produce custom 3D printed food from design to delivery, and then we enable others to do the same thing using our printers and supplies that we manufacture. So I found the best way to quickly help people understand what we do is to show them. So I'm going to share this video, take you into our kitchen, give you a behind the scenes look at our whole design process and kitchen in a very quick video that I'll talk you through. So we use binder over powder technology, and this is Chef Victoria in our kitchen, but really it all starts with the 3D design. 99% of our clients come to us with just a concept, and our designers design it from scratch digitally. And then we print it in the kitchen in Los Angeles, and we have a commercial kitchen. Our chefs mix up the powder based on whatever the flavor profile is, and they add the ingredients to our base powder. They then print it, the binder jets color, red, blue, yellow, and clear binder. And so wherever the binder is applied, that solidifies the product and adds the color. And then we excavate it out of the powder bed once it's finished and depowder it. And it's very scalable. So we can print hundreds of pieces in 8 to 9 hours, hit print, come in the next day, and then excavate many hundreds of pieces out of our kitchen and hit print and do it all over again. Here we have some real life examples: a dessert topper with Chef Mei Lin, a cocktail topper, and this bouillon piece was printed in onion powder for this French onion soup. This is, as I mentioned, it's a powder-based technology, which really opens the door for a huge variety of ingredients. So we've printed with fungi, vegetables, fruits, grains, proteins, and many more. Anything that can be dehydrated can be integrated into our powder base and printed. So let's talk about our journey. So in about 3 years ago, so in early 2020, we founded the company and it was called Culinary Printworks. So Kyle and I had worked with a company for several years, developing this product, this printer that is NSF safe and high performing. So if you've been in the 3D printing industry for a while, you have very likely seen that any new vertical starts with a service bureau. So whether it's aerospace, healthcare, medical, the industry needs the support of a service bureau to bring the expertise to help people understand how to design the products, what are the design rules, print the actual pieces so they can do pilots and they can justify the business case to then bring the hardware in-house and do it themselves. So that's what we set off to do. And we had a couple of very large partners that food manufacturers. And so we intended to start with just building large networked kitchens that would be suppliers to the food manufacturers, the casinos, and then COVID hit. So it was very bad timing. And our partners, our customers, they just had to go focus on their core business, and things were shut down. Their doors were shut down. Their customers, the airlines, just everything. And you lived through it. So I don't need to recap what that was like. But so we had to go back and reevaluate our strategy. So it made us, I think in the end, it was a very positive thing for us to pivot and take a different approach to it that has now helped us to really broadly get the word out about this. So the first thing we did, we stepped back and said, well, what is our mission? What do we want to guide all of our initiatives? So we said, we want to make 3D printed food easy, which really, if 3D printing is not very easy. Being able to get a 3D printable file, taking a concept and changing it into something that can be printed, and then actually printing it. So we said, let's make it easy for everybody. And that includes then enabling them to just come with a concept and we'll design it. Let's make it accessible. 3D printed anything is not really all that accessible, but especially 3D printed food. So we said, let's find a way to make it very accessible to anybody who wants to try 3D printed food. And then finally, let's make it scalable. So high volume, high production, enable that. None of this had ever been done in the culinary 3D printing space before. And so we took these as our guiding principles to formulate our strategy at that point. All right. So what I'm going to share today with the challenges that I think will be very relevant across all verticals is then how do we educate the world about what our product is and why it can be relevant to them? What is our product offering? And then finally, how do we identify that target market and connect with them and support them? So let's transition to that. So the first thing we did was we said, let's make it easy and accessible by creating an e-commerce website. Anybody can order and discover 3D printed food. So hence Sugar Lab was born. Now Sugar Lab was a name used by Kyle and his wife Liz back in 2012 when they first invented the binder over powder food printing technology. And it had a lot of notoriety, got a lot of attention. And so we, and it's also a lot more consumer friendly than Culinary Printworks. So we said, let's go ahead and adopt that and create the website and the consumer brand all around Sugar Lab. So we created the website. Anybody could order our 3D printed food. So how do we now also market it? Well, we went to social media. We created our Instagram page around Sugar Lab, around the consumer brand, and we now have 12,000 followers. It's a great way to connect with our customers. A lot of companies and event planners, they find us based off of our social media and the PR that we receive around Sugar Lab. The other value of Sugar Lab that we found over time is that it allowed us to test concepts. We could do some R&D around a new ingredient, a new application, put it up for sale on Sugar Lab, see how that resonated with that audience, and also put R&D up on Instagram and get feedback. So a couple of examples. I'll get to the couple of examples in a moment. So the next product, the next challenge is, what is the product offering? With 3D printing, you can do anything, especially when you have color involved. So what product will mean something to people that they'll want to pay premium to order 3D printed food? So we started pretty basic. We knew that needed to be eye-catching. So our first product, when we launched, our product line was just sugar-based. We had peppermint sugar cubes. We had pumpkin spice dessert shells. We had cocktail garnishes. For the holidays, we had snowmen and printed in vanilla flavored powder that you could assemble, some ornaments. So this was our first foray into seeing what people would be drawn to. So it was fine. It was a good launch, but the feedback we received, and especially for ourselves as we experienced these for ourselves, is we realized that we need to lengthen consumers' experience with our product. We need it to have a purpose with other ingredients, whether that's with a cocktail that it can be used within so that it extends the period of time that they enjoy it, or it's the eating experience. It's integrated with another ingredient so that it takes more bites. It's savored and enjoyed and shared. So that was our goal. And we assigned our chefs the task. Valentine is coming up, and to participate in Valentine's Day, you need to have something to do with chocolate. So what can we do with our technology in chocolate? And so they got to work testing, dipping the product, filling it with different chocolates. And what they came up with is a luscious ganache, and the R&D behind how it can work very well with our shell. And we said, make it as interesting on the inside as it is on the outside. Make this something that people will enjoy visually and enjoy the flavor and the experience as well. So that then was born our strawberry covered chocolates. This was our first chocolate product in tamarind elderflower ganache, pineapple upside down cake, and caramelized honey chili, all with a dark chocolate base ganache, and those were the flavors. And the shell was printed in a ginger flavored powder. So they were very elegant and exotic flavor profile. These were a hit. We sold so many, and over since this launch, strawberry covered chocolates have been a very popular product. And we did a lot of chocolates actually that first Valentine's. We experimented with what would be the right shapes and flavors. We did a heart puzzle in 3 different pieces that had different flavored ganache in each, and you would put them together to form a heart. We did more basic flavors, PB&J ganache, s'mores ganache, and some geometric shapes. So we had a lot of fun with the chocolates, finding what would really resonate with our audience base. What we found is that people love these chocolates for events. So to put a logo, have a shape that they can put a logo, easily customize. And one of our most popular for events is peppermint flavored shell with a dark chocolate mocha ganache on the inside. It keeps people talking about your logo, your brand, and it's a longer experience. It's a 3-bite savory experience. So the next product breakthrough that, again, we used Instagram to learn that this was going to be very interesting to consumers. We were just playing around with some chicken bouillon to see if we would be able to print that and how it would taste with our powder base. And we created this video and put it on Instagram, printed a roasted chicken poured hot water over it, and the response was crazy. We had so much attention, people reaching out, asking if they could buy it, asking if they could collaborate with different flavors and put it in their restaurant. So we knew we were onto something. So we asked the chefs, what can you do in the bouillon space that is unique and interesting? At the same time, we were developing a Koreatown collection kit, and we said, let's add this to the kit. Let's do kimchi and have it be part of the Koreatown collection. So the bouillon, our Koreatown kimchi bouillon, has actually been our best seller of all of our products. And this was our first collection of it, the squid, the chicken leg, and the cabbage. And we recently relaunched the same flavors in a suite of new designs, including a kimchi jar. And then finally, one other example of how social media and Sugar Lab has helped dial in our products. We, our R&D chefs got their hands on some edible glitter and printed with it in our powder base. And we launched for Day of the Dead and Halloween these cocktail glitter bombs in the form of potion, in the form of the skulls, and it created this video. So when we have things like this happen, it is immediately we know it's popular. Our orders just go off the charts, and we knew we found a new application, again, that elongated the user's experience. It changes the color of their beverage, adds the glitter. And this is another use for our event space and catering, branding, putting a brand or a logo on the edge of a glass, and then people putting it in their drinks. It's extremely popular for events. Moment. There we go. Okay, so let's talk about finding now our target market. So many opportunities of where this can be used. So we already talked about the consumer space, but that's not really what we set out to do, is just sell 6-piece or 18-piece kits. So really, Sugar Lab is to lead to enterprise work, business to business, whether it's at restaurants or it is events and caterers or companies that want to wholesale, purchase as wholesale and put it under their own brand. So we started with French master chefs. We had a couple of connections that they got very excited about bringing this into their restaurants. And so this is Chef Yuri Swarzewski at Partage in Las Vegas, and he's done several products with us. This was his first, and we printed it with real beet powder. And he filled these beets with a goat cheese blend and heated it in the oven to serve as a warm cheese serving on his cheese platter. His other products have included honeycomb with little bees on it that was printed with lavender powder. And again, he filled it with a goat cheese blend. He's done beautiful beautiful figs, walnuts, very creative. So this is one space. It is not the optimum that we've found. It's a nice space to play in, but they have revolving menus. So the amount of time and money to invest in developing a new product than just to have it be on a 4 to 6 week revolving menu, it works, but it's not the high volume that we really are looking for as our sweet spot for our target customer. We also did, here's an example of Chef Claude Letoc at 165 in San Francisco, used our strawberry shells to fill with his own fillings and serve on his dessert menu. Now, where the sweet spot is for us is for events. And again, going back to that concept, making it very easy. So we have created several designs that you'll find on our website for Sugar Lab to order in our own coloring and patterns and designs. But the idea of them is to make them very fast and easy to rework so that we can brand them quickly and sell them for events. So this is for Amazon, has a show upload, and it was for their season 2 premiere. They wanted chocolates, so these coffee cups and the beer cans are filled with chocolate ganache, as well as this geometric shape one, as well as some drink garnishes. So this was, this is where the value of 3D printing comes into play for events. People are willing to pay a premium because they can have it customized and represent what their message is to the attendees or customers. And secondly, it's a fast turnaround. There's no tooling required, especially when we use these designs that have already been tested, validated for shipping and printing. All we need to do is change the coloring. We can do it very quickly and in high volume. Or we can do completely custom products as well. So for that same event, we created these VR headsets. The premise of the show is about the virtual reality and using these headsets. So we printed this in our lime glitter powder with a surprise inside. So inside the different heads, we put different colors so that the attendees, they receive different colored, their drinks turn different colors when they drop these in. It was a surprise. So, so that's one fun experience. And then representing just different logos and brands is hugely valuable for creating just an experience that, again, is memorable. And so Google orders these for some of their events and different internal events as well. Replicating product launches. So here's a great example of Candace Parker, WNBA star, had this shoe launch a while back. And for the party, they gave out these handouts of the shoes in as candies. You can see how amazing the printer with the coloring can replicate the actual product. So this is, again, there's a lot of value here. This is a sweet spot because people want to pay extra, a premium for these fast turnarounds that replicate their brand. And so this really is a sweet spot for us. This is where we invest in conveying what people can use our professional services and printing for. So here's just an example of okay, well, the music and the video were off a little bit because of the internet. But so that's really where we target our marketing, is for this professional space. The other target customer is for wholesale, for people to bring this in under their own brand. So here is a customer who we mass produce the 3D printed products for, and they package them under their own brand. So they call them shimmer drops, using our edible glitter. For champagne, using a neutral sweet flavor. For their hot cocoa, we developed, we did these in 3 different flavors: gingerbread sweater, vanilla yeti, peppermint penguin. For the margarita, we developed some unique flavors: spicy jalapeno glitter for the cactus, strawberry for the horse, lime for the lime wedge. For the holidays, they did these ornaments. The yellow are passion fruit, the red are cranberry, they're all glitter. The teal is lime. And then what I'm really excited about is the matcha powder that we developed for them. It's made with real matcha, and you can drop these into hot water or hot milk and create matcha tea or matcha latte. And they're delicious, they're fun, they're beautiful. And then another example of a wholesale customer is this this company called Hasu, and these are Hasu's micro meditation flowers. Hasu is a food tech wellness company that uses these 3D printed lotuses that are in different flavors. They use these to improve mindfulness during meditation. They have a whole story to go around this experience, something we never would have thought of, that a customer saw the value of 3D printing and developed this, and now we mass produce these pieces. But in this space, the wholesale, the journey is completed ideally when they demonstrate the use case for their product and they buy the printer and the finishing station and supplies from us and bring it in-house to produce. So that is the other target customer, are these that we can bring on this journey from introducing the product to how to bring it in-house and show them how to print and set up their own kitchen and support them in that. And we can do that because the most recent part of the journey for us changing our name to Current 3D was in early 2022. We had an opportunity to acquire this technology that Kyle and I developed with over several years, and we had the opportunity to acquire it early in 2022. And so that's what we ended up doing, raising funds to do that. And so the printer is called the Current 3D printer. Current 3D is a better representation of this entire journey from the design to ultimately placing hardware and supplies. But it doesn't end there. This is a 3D, this is a powdered food technology. As I already mentioned, the opportunities are vast with powdered food. It's so flexible, so many things can be dehydrated, and we really want this to grow into a very useful technology in the health and wellness space. We want to print foods containing vitamins, minerals. We did the matcha tea, we've done lavender and rose, and all sorts of health wellness ingredients. And we'd like to expand the use so it has more usefulness to that space as well. So ultimately, what our goal is, after this time frame of where we are now, we're building awareness. We're normalizing 3D printed food, and ultimately, with the cloud data that we are already creating with all of the qualified 3D files, build networked kitchens around the world that can then download these files and recipes from the cloud, and then 3D print locally using plant proteins, a variety of proteins, using waste food from that location, fruits and vegetables that may be bruised or otherwise discarded. Can we use that in the powder form and other waste material? So that's our moonshot. Ideally, that's what we want to aim for, is to really become useful and relevant in a way beyond where we are right now, and that's our long-term goal. So that's our story. That's where we are. That's our journey. And I hope that you found it relevant to wherever you may be in your startup journey, if that's what you're on. Finding, what your how you educate the world about your product, how you determine what product offering you have, and then who your target market is and how to connect and support them. So thank you. I'm open to questions now.
Megan, thank you so much. There was so much chatter happening in the chat during that. It was great. A lot of enthusiasm for this. So we'll take just a couple of questions here. So the top one that I see over in the Q&A is, how do you keep the food safety in mind when you design new foods?
Great question. So the printer itself and the finishing station, they are food safe. They're designed from the ground up they're the first product, hardware product that has been NSF certified and is safe for use. We print them in a food safe kitchen. Now in the design itself, if we print onto the sugar that has a very long shelf life. It's safe. We do it in we have all of the LA Department Health certifications. And then when we fill them with ingredients such as chocolate, we do shelf life testing. We have some tricks to preserve the how long they can last, and just keep them food safe for several months.
All right, we'll do maybe just one or two more here. How do you protect the prints during shipping? Like how delicate or how strong are they?
Yes, that was a very big R&D initiative, and it is my timing off with my. Okay, can you hear me? All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so the initiative to package them has been a very interesting journey, but the design comes into account. So we have some design rules for how to print them and what types of shapes and what are the minimum features if we're going to need to ship them. And then the packaging, we have some custom cavity trays that we have had that we designed and had printed for specifically for us. I mean, produced for us. And then we vacuum seal them and put them in a box that we specifically designed as well to interact with that cavity tray to keep them safe and various sizes that can work in there. So packaging was a very big challenge, but a very important one so that we can fulfill shipping all over the country and world, even in some cases.
All right, let's do just one more and then we'll move on. What kind of volume do you deal with in your different products?
So for some events, we will get orders of several thousand that want to be turned around in a couple of weeks, and in the wholesale cases, we'll do tens of thousands. So it really, and then there are some that are. We do have a minimum that usually is right around 100 pieces to do a custom and fulfill. But usually we're talking in the thousands.
All right. Thank you so much, Megan. Really appreciate it. This was a super fascinating talk today. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you for everybody who joined today.